Here's what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about how do people online, how do you find those leads? How do you get in front of them? There's a couple of ways to do it. And it relates to, I think in marketing, something you should know about us and something you should know about digital marketing too, is that it's a customer relationship journey. So we'll talk about that relationship journey. We'll talk specifically and tactically, of course, about Google Ads and how to build a campaign. We'll look at real results from our clients, and I'm going to talk about sales. So I just want to get this out at the beginning. We are not going to leave this session, leaving you as the person attending, able to get on Google Ads and build your own campaign. In 1 hour, that's a big ask. So what I want to do is, if you've got the goal of growing your firm, I want to open the door and help you understand, hey, advertising on Google is really powerful. It really does work, but it doesn't work just by waving a magic wand and, getting on Google Ads today and following this content track. There's a lot of technical things we're not going to get into. There's some things we're going to brush up against that deserve their own 30-minute to hour-long session. So this is opening the door. This is an overview. This is hey, from ads, getting them built, where do they fit, all the way down to your sales system. I'm going to hit all of that. And again, I'm opening the door for lots more conversations on this front with you guys. So that'll be our ask. If you want to know the thing, if there's a salesy thing, if there's a call to action from Noah and I, it's that we want to have a follow-up conversation to talk about your firm, your business, your needs, and Google Ads or anything else. So that's our ask. That's the big salesy thing at the end, is grab a call with us at taxproleads.com. So who are we? Let's talk a little bit about us before we get into that agenda and why I think you should listen to us, why I think it's relevant to listen to Noah and I kind of riff. So again, my name's Christian Jones. I'm the CEO of TaxProMarketer. I've been here for about 10 years now. I've been the CEO for 2. I was the top presenter on CPA Academy in 2023. I was a 20 under 40 for CPA Practice Advisor. We've been an Inc. 5000 company for years. TaxProMarketer itself has been around for, I think we're going on our 18th year now. We've been in the tax and accounting space for the entire time. TaxProMarketer is honestly a bit of an unfortunate name. It's what we started with. It's catchy. We work with CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, tax resolution specialists, part-time CFOs, advisors, tax planners. We don't just work with tax preparers. To be honest, I'll tell you something I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about changing our name just because I commonly get, Christian, I don't do tax. And it's like, I get it. I know you don't do tax, or I know that tax maybe isn't your full focus. So if that's you, you're still talking to the right people. We don't have a one-size-fits-all model. We've been serving people in different disciplines within this industry for, again, almost 2 decades. And we have a system, a suite of strategies. We have programs and services that really do help people grow. And we'll have some data on that today. Obviously, we're going to get kind of granular into one component, which is paid ads. But that's what I do, is I teach and I speak and I try and help, along with Noah, I try and help people in this industry, whether they are a tax preparer or a CPA or a bookkeeper, or I know we've kind of got the title of this presentation as small CPA firm, but even larger firms, we can help you too. We're here to help you put things in place that grow your business. So that's our agenda. That's our goal. That's what we're good at. I've got 4 kids, 2 boys that are kind of our bookends. I've got Hudson and Wyatt, and then 2 girls in the middle, Jane and Elsa. And my wife is a saint. She's amazing, great mom. Her name's Christiana. So you got Christian and you got Christiana, which was, if you've ever read Pilgrim's Progress, the name of the characters from that book. And that was my first pickup line that I dropped on my now wife, which resulted in a big thud that did not move the needle forward when I was trying to get her to date me. But hey, persistence paid off. And then I've got Noah here today with me. And Noah is, man, like just one of my favorite people on the planet. He's also our right-hand guy for bringing on clients, setting a strategy, meeting with people. He's actually got some account management calls he's about to jump on the minute this webinar is over. So he talks with our clients, he sets strategy, he brings people on. Noah, tell us a little more about yourself, your family, and then let's get into our agenda.
Yeah, I'm excited, Christian, for what we have to cover today. Just so much good stuff and so much practical stuff to really look at, how can you grow and scale your firm? And I love having these conversations. I love strategy. I love helping people reach the goals that they've set, whatever that may be for your firm. I've been with TaxProMarketer for, going on 4 years now. In a previous life, I was in education, which honestly plays very well into what I get to do for this company. I was in the classroom for a lot of years. I was the principal director of an international school in East Africa. My family and I lived over there in Tanzania for a lot of years. We have 4 beautiful children. I'm a couple years ahead of Christian in the game. My oldest is 12, down to 3 years old, and it's just a lot of fun. We love culture. We love traveling. We still get to do a lot of traveling, which we're thankful for. But it's fun getting to talk to businesses in this space that are looking to scale and say, Noah, how do we do this? And we're going to look at a lot of those different strategies. So Christian, let's jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it. And Noah is in the United States right now. Sometimes there's a where in the world is Noah question. So if you're talking to Noah, you might ask him where he is. But right now, he's just hanging out up in Oregon. So glad to be in the
Totally
same
not.
country with you right now. It's not always the case. Okay, don't just listen to us. There's other people that would be glad to share with you their positive experiences of being a customer of ours. And here's just a few. We've got more reviews on Google. We've got testimonials on our site. We've got client interviews. Noah actually has a number of client interviews. If you want to hear directly from someone's experience, we can always send you those. But this is a bit of like, hey, we know what we're doing. You don't have to just hear us say it. Other people in the space would say it. But this is also when you do things well, whether you're a digital marketer or a CPA, when you are thorough and intentional, good things happen. So it's our job to understand digital marketing. It's our job to put these things in place. And we're going to bring specifically what we do on Google Ads to you today. So you're gleaning from almost 2 decades of refining our practices, understanding the bigger picture. And what we do for people is the bigger picture. Let us grow your practice for you so you don't have to. That's what we like to do. We like to be a done for you agency. I will do it. It's okay to do it this way too, but I don't view websites and advertising as just something to check. I should just post on social media. I should just have a website. I should just, do these things. Yeah, you probably should, but you also need them to work. And you need someone that can work with you because how many of you, maybe this isn't a 1 and 0 and you're just out of time. How many of you are out of time to do anything else in your business? Most of you. Small business life is hard. You got into this business to be a CPA, to be an accountant, to be a tax preparer, to be a bookkeeper, to be whatever you are. And then you realize that you've got lots of other parts of a business besides just serving your clients to worry about. And marketing is, I'm just going to tell you, I know this sounds self-serving, but let me put my consultant hat on for a second. Marketing is one of the first things you should outsource. Most of you have grown your firm on referrals without almost anything Noah and I are going to talk about today. And that's wonderful. That's great. You have a good name. You had a warm network that expanded. People passed your name around. Good job. That's worth celebrating. But digital marketing raises the ceiling for your growth. And you should not, I'm just going to say, unless you are the exception, and there are exceptions, you should not be feverishly taking notes today to try and run your own ads. Again, back to why I don't want to do like the most technical ads webinar. I want you to get the concept. I want you to understand that this does work. Some of you have run ads before and it just bombed. I want to give you some hope. Some of you are scared of this stuff and scared of what partner to trust. I want to help you know this works. We help people do this all day long. And again, here's the end of the beginning. Get a 30-minute to hour-long call just to talk about your firm and have Noah and I consult you, give you ideas, and if it makes sense, we can help. Okay, so how can you find leads online? Where do they live? Where can I find them? What rocks do I need to flip over to go and find these leads that you speak of that are on the internet? Okay, they're everywhere. There's a ton of ways to get awareness, and that's what we're going to focus on today. We're going to focus on getting visible and getting found or generating awareness, and that's step 1 of this customer journey, this customer relationship journey that I think you need to have in your mind. So this is kind of the 30,000-foot view up in the clouds. What are we trying to accomplish? Not just run Google Ads well. We're not with marketing trying just to get clicks. We want to start conversations that become real customers. And I know that that sounds obvious, but if you've ever worked with other marketers or advertisers or people that built your site, how many of you have heard a marketer or an advertiser talk about the bigger picture? Advertising, Google advertising fits in this bigger picture. This is one way that you can get awareness. There are others, but this is a very viable, good way to do so. but we don't stop with getting awareness. That's the beginning. That's the gateway into engaging, getting them to convert, to get on your calendar, to then ascend and become a client and bring their friends, to bring other referrals. You have to see these different components of marketing as a part of an ecosystem, a customer journey. It has to be a part of a machine. A machine has different components. And you can pull a piece of a machine out and stare at it and look at it and appreciate it for what it is. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to appreciate and stare at Google advertising for what it is. But there are more things that you must have, I would tell you, to make your marketing effective. And one of those things is just emailing your clients, emailing your people. That's a story for another day. We do other sessions on the full relationship journey, every component. So if you want to kind of get a feel for the fuller picture, not just ads, we've got other sessions on CPA Academy I'd welcome you to watch, but the awareness stage, let's keep going. Let's keep coming down onto the clouds and get a little more granular. The goal is to get people identified that are your target prospect and get them to do something. Consume content, click a button, call your firm, schedule a call. Awareness then goes into engagement. We want people that find you to know they're in the right place, to be a good lead to begin with, but then also to start to help them know, hey, if these are your problems, let's talk. So some of you, when we talk about awareness and visibility, some of you have a traffic problem. You just don't have traffic. Google Ads can help. Some of you have a traffic and a conversion problem. And those are two ways to think about traffic. And again, that's this awareness stage. Get the target prospect identified, get in front of them and get them to do something. So if you're not getting traffic, you probably don't know that you have a conversion problem. But if I'm on your website, if I'm on your advertising landing page, if I'm on your whatever digital asset, what do you want me to do next? That's a big part of it too. Having a clear path for you click my ad and now I want you to do this. That's what we want to think about too, is sparking conversations, getting people to engage with you. Advertising, as I'm mentioning, is just one way to get traffic. You can also get traffic by ranking on Google for free. That's called SEO, search engine optimization. You can also get traffic by ranking on ChatGPT now. That's AEO, AI engine optimization. Social media can get you traffic, right? You can get traffic from your Facebook page. Pay-per-click advertising on Google is a really great tool, and we'll get into that today. But we hit on these other topics, social media, how do I get my Google page? How do I get reviews? We hit on all those topics in other webinars. I just wanted to make sure you knew if you're curious about how to get on page one for free, there's other sessions we do on that front. Today is just to be about, you can show up on Google first by running paid ads. You can also show up in the map section or beneath it. You've seen this 1,000 times, right? You got the map and then you got the website links beneath it. That's also free. So you should aim at all of it, right? You should aim at being in the map, being in the website area beneath this Google Maps section, and have an ad on page one as well. If you can show up 3 times on page one, that's a lot of real estate for your business. So that's one reason advertising matters, is it's you showing up, hopefully in 1, 2, or maybe even 3 places, and eating up some real estate on page one of Google that your competitors don't get. So paid ads, you'll see it all the time. Have you ever looked up a software and there, you looked for QuickBooks, or you looked up Ignition, or you looked up whatever software you're looking for, and they actually pay for an ad for their own business name? That's strategic, because guess what? All their competitors, software is a lot more competitive, digitally speaking, than our CPA accounting bookkeeper space is. But they'll pay for ads for their own name because they want that real estate. They don't want their competition to be ranking above them. So that ads location is one side of it, is just showing up in as many places as you can on page one. Advertising does fit in our digital dominance method. It fits in this machine. So Noah, let's get into it now. We've tried to place Google Ads in a machine, in a journey. It's a part of a process. You need more than this to be effective. But now let's get more granular on how Google Ads can really help these folks with their accounting, tax, bookkeeping firms, their CPA group that they run. Tell us more about how Google Ads are valuable and useful, and then we'll just start to get tactical, guys. So we're kind of getting out of the clouds now and getting more into the topic at hand.
Yeah, I'd say buckle up, everybody, because we're going to move fast from here on out. Advertising, and again, you have to frame this. Advertising is part of an ecosystem. You have to frame it that way. You're not, I would never recommend doing only ads. It is part of this larger campaign. But here's the benefit of advertising. There are other parts of this ecosystem that just the reality, they take time. And I would imagine a lot of you have run into frustrations of saying, I just don't rank. If you don't rank, that's going to give you a very big problem of traffic. Awareness. Okay, that's that first stage we talked about. If you don't get traffic, you're not going to get found. You're not going to get seen. So that's going to be a really big problem when it comes to the second part, that is conversion. If you don't get traffic, you're not going to have anybody to convert.
Yes.
That's pretty obvious. The benefit of Google Ads is you're paying to rank on page one instantly for the exact search terms you want to get seen by in the exact area you want to get seen by. So let's talk about a little bit of a differentiation, if I can, between marketing and advertising. Marketing is your website. Marketing is your Google profile. Marketing is all these different things, but your website, your Google profile are a part of this slower moving ecosystem. You are playing within an organic ranking system. Nobody ranks instantly on page one in a Google search. It takes time. It's a combination of how is your website built, how many Google ads, consistent or not Google ads, Google reviews, consistency of Google reviews, SEO. We do a whole nother webinar on this stuff. I'm not going to take our time on this, but Google Ads expedites that process. Google Ads is now saying, I want to get seen for best bookkeeper near me, CPA, best CPA in Atlanta. I want to rank for this search term. Here's another quick differentiation, if I can. Your Google profile is always going to be local. If you are in Atlanta, Georgia, your Google profile will not rank in Nashville. Just won't. Okay? That's not the way Google works. But if you're in a specific city, you can run Google Ads anywhere you want. It doesn't matter where you are. Google Ads are anywhere. So this is the fast track. If you want to say, I want leads tomorrow, Google Ads. Somebody comes and talks to me and says, Noah, I don't have any of this built out. That's great. We have to get the foundation, the website, the SEO. That's the foundation. Don't neglect that. Don't forget about that stuff. But Google Ads is kind of like pouring gasoline on a fire, because it's going to speed this process up. Christian, what am I missing in all of this?
No, you're nailing it. You're nailing it. And so let me summarize those points, because these are really high level points that are worth kind of thinking about or having in your brain. Your website ranking on page one of Google is not overnight. Your Google business profile, which is where your reviews on Google live, and that's that map section profile, that won't show up on best CPA near me tomorrow if I start building it for you. And even if I start getting you new reviews, that's a goal of ours. When we do marketing for a client, we do want to aim at eventually ranking for free on page one because of how we built your site and your reviews and content and optimization, all the things we do from a technical standpoint. And that is a very achievable goal, but it takes time. And as Noah said, step number one, or reason number one, I should say, for ads is it's fast. And it's also locally agnostic. Let me use a more layman's term. Like Noah said, you can run ads anywhere geographically. And many people, I was just talking with a guy this morning who is where is he? He's in Auburn, Alabama. And I'm telling him, kind of doing a consulting call, like I'd love to do with some of you as well. I'm consulting him and he's like, I don't want my website to talk about Auburn, Alabama. I serve clients across the country. And it's like, I know you do. Everyone does. Almost everyone does. I totally get that. Or you have 2 states or 3 states and you don't want to put yourself in a corner with your website, but Google doesn't care. You will organically, the free traffic you will get from Google will come from your backyard because Google sees you as a local-based business. You will always show up best in your backyard based on how your website's built in your Google page, unless you do ads. And so ads gives you the ability to target a more affluent market that's, nearby, but you're not in. A city that you have a presence in, but you're not physically located in. So speed, geographic flexibility, and targeting. So we'll get into targeting now, but it also, man, it works. And so marketing and advertising, all of it should aim at generating a good ROI. So for accounting and bookkeeping, right? If you want to work with businesses, what if I told you that $800 a month led to an average of $49 as a cost per lead? That's not a sale. That's not a customer yet. But would you spend $50 to get on the phone with someone who needs bookkeeping help or accounting help? One time fee of $49 to get someone in your area or whatever city we're targeting? I think you would. I think you'd take that trade all day long. That's why ads is important too, and why it's relevant is when it's done well, it works. We'll talk about sales at the end. You have to be good at sales, but competent. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be able to close someone. And that doesn't mean that you're extroverted. That doesn't mean you're gregarious. That doesn't mean you're, oh, help me, Noah. What's the name of that sales guy that's just obnoxious, just the most prolific? Cardone. You don't
Whatever
have
his
to be
name is.
Jane Grant Cardone. That I'm not saying everything that guy says is trash. It's not. But man, I just hate sharks. I'm not a sales shark. I don't want you to be one. I want you to serve people. And there are people getting on Google right now, clicking ads, and our clients that are set up to serve them, well, they're doing a great job. You've got your products, your services productized, you've got your packages. You just need people to talk to. $50 as an average cost per lead. If you're in the tax resolution space, $75, tax preparation space, about $100, right? So some of our clients spend $5K a month. Some of them spend $1K. Some of them spend $700. But generally speaking, everywhere across the country, people are clicking these ads and it's working. So it's filling up their sales pipeline with real leads. Getting quick wins, as Noah said, is something that we really want to do. Now let's go tactical. This is where we kind of get the most into the weeds. What does an ad campaign actually look like, Christian? That's what I came here for. I'm about to answer your question. Again, not going deep into everything, but I do want to give you some things. Noah and I want to give you some things to understand how to do it and do it well. So the first thing to talk about is, why do they fail? Why does a Google pay-per-click campaign fail? And let me just pause. There's actually multiple ways to run ads on Google. Pay-per-click ads is not the only way. It is our default because it works the best. It's the simplest way to say, put money in, get leads out, and have it be effective. There are other advertising strategies on Google. I just wanted to say that. If you're familiar with those, yes, I am as well. But this is the one that we start with because it's the highest performing. So if you don't understand this, you're just going to waste money. This is an auction. AdWords, Google advertising from a pay-per-click standpoint, is an auction. Every keyword that you tell Google advertising, hey, I'm going to build this ad and I want it to show up for these searches, keywords. Keywords or searches are kind of the same thing. A search could be best CPA near me, best bookkeeper, best tax consultant, fractional CFO, whatever, right? You pay a variable cost per keyword depending on where you live and what time of year it is. The cost fluctuates. How you target those keywords, or what keywords you target or don't, is incredibly instructive to your success. And we'll talk about that in a second. If you have an ad that you're launching, which is partially why I don't want to walk you through like, hey, pull up Google advertising and let's build an ad campaign together. Most of you would be like, well, I built an ad for my company and not for your services. Every service you want to target needs to be its own ad group. Sounds obvious. Most things in life are just doing the basics really well. If you want bookkeeping leads, you need an ad group with copy and keywords and a landing page that is oriented towards bookkeeping leads. You don't want to run Christian Jones CPA firm. Let's say that's the name of the business here. You don't want to run an ad that's just for my CPA business, targeting every keyword, because it's just, again, it's not targeted. It's not specific. This isn't a billboard, right? This isn't like a drive-by billboard with, call the law offices of Noah Jenks if you've gotten in a motorcycle wreck. Like, no, we're trying to get more specific with, we want to approach some level of specificity with a service, or a niche is fine too. A niche, like I want dentists, I want construction groups, I want whatever. And we'll talk about that in a second. But if you don't build out different groups for either your services or your niches, you're just going to waste money. And you'll wonder why Christian and Noah said that advertising worked and you flushed $1,000 down the toilet every month. So here's the components. Here's the positives. Here's the things to do to build an ad campaign well. As I just mentioned, you need ad groups. Then you need to target keywords and target those keywords with your specific ad group. So bookkeeping services need bookkeeping related keywords. You need a landing page. You need a mechanism to get people to do something. That's your call to action, your CTA. You also need reporting that helps you know if it's working. And you need someone who will actively manage your advertising. So I want to slow down on this just for a second. This is the most tactical and technical we get today. So again, I don't think it's going to be too much, but it is going to go a little bit quick. And any of this stuff, man, this is what we do. This is our job. Our job is to teach and also just to do it for you. And if you want to learn more about any of this, or more or less, I'm not selling you a drill here. I'm probably selling you holes. If you want to talk about getting these holes for yourself and have us hold the drill, go to taxproleads.com and grab a call with us. But if you do want to just geek out and understand, or just have some trust and confidence of how does this all work, these are the 6 main areas. If you handle these 6 main areas, you will maybe not succeed as well as you could, because it's kind of what you do in those areas. But some advertisers, man, they just take your money, they launch the ads, they don't really curate or build a great landing page. The keywords they pick are generic. The call to action is your main website, or it's generic. There's no reporting, and they set it once and forget it. They never actively manage. So if you're addressing these 6 areas with Google advertising, you are on the right track. So it's a little bit deeper than just paying Google money. It's not just that. Your budget does matter. It does matter, and it obviously needs to be effective. But when we and our technical team and our advertising department builds ads, we are addressing these 6 areas, and we'll hit sales systems at the end. So that's one thing you don't see here is, hey, your sales system also is important. So here's specific ad groups that we've got here. So accounting and CPA, payroll services, bookkeeping, business coaching. Insert anything that you want more of. I've got, Christian Jones CPA here. Noah Jenks is my best client, and his business is, 1.5 million, it's 5 million, it's 2 million. It's in this part of town. Here's the pain points, the things I've solved for him. I want more Noah Jenks. I want more customers like Noah. Let's go build an ad campaign for the services that Noah has, speaking to a client, an avatar, a person, a human like Noah, and the things his business is dealing with. And that's this ad group. And it's just going to be that. And if I've got another customer that I want more of too, but is a little bit different than Noah, then I'm going to build out a different ad group. So that's one way to think about it. What are the 10 clients in your firm that if you could duplicate, man, that would be awesome. That would be so great to maybe shed the bottom 10% of your clients for more top 10% clients, right? To get rid of the people that you're doing work for right now that you wish you weren't, and get more focused on people that really fit with how you are building your business, right? You can be a generalist. You can do everything. And we have a lot of people that do, and they're successful. You can do tax prep, accounting, bookkeeping, resolution, payroll. That's awesome. But my recommendation is to get more specific. And as you're building out your ad groups, think about not just the what, but the who. Who do you want more of? What are their problems? What do they need? And how are they going to search to find you? So Noah, let's pull you back in. Let's talk about keywords. What types of keywords, or just generally, how do keywords interact with advertising on Google?
You put yourself in the shoes of someone searching for your services. They're not going to necessarily search for just one thing. If you were one, and let's just stick on the bookkeeping topic. And again, I know that you don't all just do bookkeeping, but let's just use that for sake of example. Someone might search bookkeeper. Someone else might search best bookkeeper. Someone else might search bookkeeping. I need a bookkeeper, top bookkeeper, greatest bookkeeper. What does bookkeeping do? Like there are so many varieties, and these are called keyword, both short tail and what are called long tail. There's short tail keywords, bookkeeper. Okay, it's one keyword. There's also long tail keywords. Okay, I need a bookkeeper. And there are different search volumes for the different keywords. So this is going back to what Christian was saying about be really specific with your keyword ad groups. You don't want to lump all of your ad spend into tax preparation, bookkeeping, CPA, advisory, CFO, tax resolution, and you do all of the ad groups. You are spreading your ad spend so thin to the point where there's not going to be enough click spend to go around to each of these different keyword groups. Each keyword group should have its own designated ad spend. That's going to be one of the biggest misconceptions, one of the biggest areas where people kind of go wrong. And I talk to people all this. I did ads. Ads don't work. Google ads are, I wasted so much money on Google ads. Well, yeah, but did you know what you were doing when you set them up? Because probably not. And most people will burn an insane amount of money on ad spend because they don't know how to set them up properly. They're going to just kind of do these very generic ad campaigns, and then, they're going to be upset when they don't convert, when they don't actually get clicks, because foundationally it just really wasn't set up right. You have to get these keywords dialed in. But then once they get dialed in, you show up for bookkeeping services. Well, where do they go next? And that's where these landing pages come back in.
Yeah,
Take
I'll pick this one up, and let me add one more thing on keywords. There's a positive keyword list and there's a
Wow.
negative keyword list. The negative keyword list are search phrases you don't want to show up for. So you can, again, sometimes when advertising doesn't work, Noah, I did Google ads and it wasted thousands of dollars. And it's, well, did you add to your negative keyword list keywords like cheap or free or something that's about either the IRS or state or county tax groups or offices? Because if you just let Google kind of pick keywords for you, which is an option, you can let Google do a broad match keyword selection, give it the phrase bookkeeper, and let it just guess at what other good keywords would be. It's one way to get ideas, but a lot of times advertisers, that's the cheap and quick and dirty way to do it. And building a robust negative keyword list will help you preserve advertising budget, keep it away from keywords that are just obviously not relevant. So there's a positive keyword list, there's a negative keyword list, things I never want my ads to show up for. And as Noah said, now let's make the turn. I'm on a landing page now, right? So this is where I want a human to click my ad, right? Tax planning and accounting, schedule a free call, digital coaching platform, Atlanta business coach, whatever it may be. They click it and you have just a handful of seconds to get their attention. Every call to action that we're going to put in place is going to have some either binary or multiple choice or whatever. A survey, a sliding survey is what's performing the best for us right now. Here's what I don't want you to do. Don't have your call to action on your landing page be your calendar or call now. Doesn't work. You can actually, let me rephrase that. You can actually have the goal of your ad when they click it be get on the phone and call me now. Some people do that and that's fine. If you're staffed up with a receptionist, a secretary, a sales team that can handle inbound calls, hey, it's hot. They're live. They found you and they clicked. Sure, take a live call. That's okay. But when you get on a live call, what are you doing? You're pre-qualifying them. Your landing page should pre-qualify your leads in the same way. Do you own a business? Do you owe the IRS money? Do you have a bookkeeper? Do you have a tax planner? Whatever, right? Our questions for our clients do change. The surveys or the questions on the landing page for bookkeeping would be about bookkeeping. If you're on a bookkeeping landing page from an ad campaign focused on bookkeeping and you don't own a business, you're probably not a great lead. I want to save you time. Your landing page and your conversion mechanism should help the lead know they're in the right place and get information from them. Again, sounds obvious. It is, but most people don't do it. Your website, call now. Fill out a big contact form with first name and last name and what's your message. That doesn't work. People don't tend to do that. But if you're like Jedi mind reading, someone that clicked a bookkeeping ad and is like, yes, I own a business. I don't have a bookkeeper right now. I need help getting this cleaned up. I need help in these 5 areas. If they just feel like your questionnaire, your conversion mechanism is helping them know you're in the right place, this is how you're building relationship and you're building trust before you ever talk to them. It saves you time. It builds trust. The copy and the conversion mechanism on your landing page, it's really important. The main thing. Yes, they might scroll down and having a video is awesome. Have a video of yourself talking. Have a client testimonial. We can add that to your landing page too. Those are all good things to have. But the main thing is, what do I want you to do next? And being thoughtful about that, telling the lead, hey, I know your problems already. Let's talk. and let's move through this. That's really important. We can change the questions and the targeting, but just this process, again, high level stuff. This process is what works. I don't as much like white papers, reports. I don't see that work as much today. I used to do that. We used to do that. We would update our new reports every year. And if you have a report to download, a PDF, an ebook, give it to me. I'll put it on the thing. That's great. More is more, right? More is more sometimes. It's good to establish authority. I want to have thought leadership. If you have it, I'll use it. But the first thing we want is, are we starting a conversation? Now let's look at some results, right? Because reporting is one of the things you need to have. If you invest money on advertising or marketing and you have no way to know, how are your emails being opened? What's your open rate on emails? What's your rank on Google for your website? Hey, what's the data on your advertising? There's lots of different reporting dashboards and metrics that as a marketer, we provide our clients and we stare at. But as a business owner, you should have a rudimentary understanding of the key metrics for advertising. So I'm going to tell you the rudimentary ones, okay? I'm going to try and explain this. You've got impressions. That's not clicks. You pay for clicks, not impressions. The cost per click is different. The cost per click is going to be something that you can see down here in the groups at the bottom. The different cost per clicks for our ad groups are going to be the cost divided by the total clicks. That would be your variable cost per click. But I really care about that matters. That's an upstream data metric. It's an upstream KPI. What you really want to care about is cost per lead, and then cost per acquisition, cost per client, right? But cost per click, cost per lead, cost per acquisition, cost per client, whichever one you prefer in terms of just the framing, those are the things that you need to be aware of. So it starts with your cost, the cost per click, how many clicks you got. That's where some people stop. They stop at cost per click. Well, your average keywords, Noah, were $2 per click, $1 per click, $80 per click, doesn't matter. Some cost per keywords would be too high and absurd. But if it's yielding qualified leads that you close, yeah, I'll spend maybe at times $5 to $10 on clicks that are really qualified. Most of the time you want to be closer to the $1, $2 range, $3 range. Again, it depends on your market, what time of year it is, what we're targeting. The cost of keyword stuff is variable, but as you go down that funnel, you really want to focus in on what's my cost per lead? What does it cost to get someone that's qualified? Not all of them close. That's not the goal. That's awesome if that happens. It's just not the goal. The goal is to set you up and fill up your sales queue, your sales pipeline with people that are asking for your help, and then to let you sort it out from there. What do you need most help with right now? Hey, I've got 11 employees, an annual income of $3.7 million, relocating to Maryland for 18 weeks with potential for permanence. We need tax prep, financial planning. We've got to get compliant. I need someone to call me. Hey, here's my information. That's a real lead. People will tell you their story. They need help. And the first part of this problem is you don't show up. So we got to get visible. The next part of the problem is we've got to pre-qualify and talk to them, make sure they know they're in the right place. And then the third is setting you up just to call this guy back and say, Carl, I can help you. Let's talk. It's not always that simple, but it does happen. It does happen this way. Tell me more about business taxes, personal taxes, or both. I need help with R&Ds, with my accounting system. But as I've been hinting at, if I'm bringing you leads, Noah, can I get an amen? Sometimes good advertising and good marketing can reveal problems in your business. And sometimes your sales system or lack thereof is going to get exposed through good advertising. And so we want to spend the last couple minutes just talking about sales systems. I'm not going to give you, again, a tutorial of do A, B, and C, but if your leads from your ad campaign don't live somewhere that you can see and access, Noah, let me pull you on we've got 10 minutes here, Noah. Just take a couple minutes and talk to us about sales systems and what we do for our clients and what you guys should do with the leads that come through an ad campaign.
Yeah, a lot of times people think, Christian, that I just don't have enough leads and that's my problem. It's not. A lot of times leads are just going to reveal the fact that you don't have a way to deal with the leads. Because think about it. If you were to get flooded with 200 leads in a 2 to 3 month period, what would happen? That would drown a lot of your businesses. But what if you were to get 15 to 20 leads per month? What would that do for your business? A lot of you, that would still drown you because you wouldn't have any way to follow up with them. And I'll tell you, one phone call is not a follow-up system. That's
Yes.
not. That's a good lead will go into your pipeline to die if you don't have a system set up. What are you doing to nurture these leads? What are you doing to weekly stay in front of them? What's a CR? Do you have a CRM system to say, we made the first phone call and then we automatically send a text message? And then 3 days later, if they didn't respond and got booked on our calendar, we have a system to set up to follow up with them. That's a system. But if you really want Google ads to work, I hope you're getting a big picture now that it's not just about the Google ads. Google ads will actually just reveal much larger problems if you don't have all of this downstream stuff figured out. Because if you don't have the right keywords, if you don't have a clear call to action, if you don't pre-qualify and find out what their problems are, and then once they submit that form or pick up the phone and call you, if you don't have a good sales system,
Yep.
they're just going to go away. And who cares if you have these great cost per clicks? Who cares if you get a 15, 20, 50 leads in a 30-day period? Who cares if you can't track with them, if you can't follow up with them, if you can't close them? Then it is. That's when I talk to people and they say, oh, Google ads don't work. I wasted all this money on Google ads. It's like, no, Google ads works. They work extremely well. They're highly effective.
Yep.
Most likely what didn't work was the system you had, the process to set up the Google ads, the system to follow up, the nurturing, the following, all of that's probably the stuff that didn't work. It's crucial.
I
It's
love that.
crucial that you have this downstream stuff figured out.
I love that. Effective marketing and ads does not always fix problems in your business, it reveals them. And like Noah is saying, a bad sales system or process is just going to highlight it. So I don't need you to spend $30,000 on a sales guru coach. That's not what I think you should take away from this. But what I do want you to have is a simple and easy to use system that helps you just know where your leads came from and what steps have been taken with them. We provide this system for all of our advertising and marketing clients, a simple, easy to use system. How many of you have too many softwares? How many of you have subscribed to too many different softwares? How many of you collect softwares like Beanie Babies in the 90s from McDonald's, right? How many of you collect them like baseball cards? You just love new softwares and you're always getting them. And I love that. The tax and accounting space has some brilliant softwares. I want you to have softwares, though, that you use and that are effective. And so the sales software we provide, I don't necessarily need you to use all of it. I just need you to know this is where my ad leads are. And so that system for us is called Client Stack. If you have a system, a software, or a process that feels dialed in, let's put your leads there. I don't really care if they go to Client Stack. If you're an advertising client for us, we can API them elsewhere. That's fine. But having a place that leads are going to go that you're going to actually deal with, that's the takeaway here. And whether you are a small CPA firm, a bookkeeper, a tax preparer, or if you're a larger firm, talk to us. We'll still talk to you. We can still help. But if you know that you need new leads, and if your marketing efforts aren't working, if you're only growing by referrals, more or less, and if you have no time to do any of this, just grab a call with us. There's no pressure. I'm not going to twist your arm. That's just not how Noah and I work. We don't work with 10,000 groups. We work with a handful select groups of people that we can really serve. So I want to serve you on this call just by looking at your business. Hey, here's some changes I would make. Hey, let's talk about email follow-up. Let's talk about ads. Let's talk about reviews. We will just keep this conversation going. And then if it does make sense, send you a proposal. But that's not the first thing, right? I first want to get to know you and just help. So if you're locked in on marketing for this last hour and you want to keep this going while it's fresh, don't leave without grabbing a free 30-minute to hour-long call with Noah and I. We're really fun. easy to talk to. We'll talk about travel, we'll talk about sports, and then let's spend a little bit of time talking about marketing. And we'll go through our full package, everything we offer, and just at least help you know you've got a friend in the tax and accounting space that can do it all for you. Take the marketing hat off of your plate, off of your head, I guess, and put it on ours and let us do this for you. Everything about our package is done for you, except I need you to check the emails we write for you so that you approve them. I need you to get reviews and just ask us questions when you need help. So these are the only things we ask our clients to do. I want you to see the content we're writing for you. I want you to get reviews, and I want you to reach out to us when you need help. We are really here to serve you and to help you grow. That's our space in the marketplace. So we got done early for once. This is amazing. Thank you. See you guys.